All right, welcome one and all you human people to the School of Argool 105, the music of Rygar for the NES. I want to go over just a couple of things about this process and how we are going about making these charts and arrangements and things. First off, I want to say big thanks to Pico de Gallo, big thanks to Avidrock, Billick, everybody in the Salsa Shack, Noise Police, Retrophile, NES 7 or 9, everyone for the great support. Chuckles, please excuse me if I've missed anyone. Inabito, all those great streamers. Big thanks for inviting me to do this. And I am, very humbled that y'all would consider me to help teach this thing. So, anyways, I wanted to say also a thanks to the other professors of the School of Argool, Professor Retro, Joker, Slackinator, Pico de Gallo. Who else did I miss? Did I miss someone else? If someone knows, feel free to put it in the chat. So, without further ado, I want to show you guys my process in which I've done retro gaming remixes and how I've kind of streamlined the process. So let me switch it on over here to my MacBook capture. Alright, so I use Ableton. Ableton is something that I highly recommend people use. If you don't know Ableton, of course, there's lots of tutorials out there. I highly recommend you buy like a MIDI controller of sorts. I'll show you guys like some of my MIDI controllers here. Okay, so here's my desktop setup. I have this MIDI controller, this one, got one over here. Okay, there are lots of different options. If you buy one of those for like 80 bucks, you can get a version of Ableton Live Lite, which is really handy. And then you can work with the software without paying like the full price. You kind of get two things in one. So when I first started doing this, it took me a long time to kind of figure things out. But basically, I have a template in Ableton. I have all these things here. This is in session view, and I have like these columns. And these columns are basically different instruments. I have a pad, a string, a vocal sound. That's what I call the Vox kit. Another pad, bass, lead. I have another thing called a VG music lead, and so on and so forth. So I've built different templates for different genres of music. I basically have one for video game music. These are all my percussion. Okay, so first off, what I do is I find a game that I want to do. Okay, let's say for example, I want to do Rygar, right? So I'm going to go over here to vgmusic.com. Okay, vgmusic.com has an amazing list of all kinds of MIDI files. Okay, so I'm in the NES page here. Okay, and here's the Rygar ones. Okay, like I'm basically taking, yeah, I have lots of tabs. It comes with being a web developer for sure. So what I would do, I would download one of these. Let's just say, let's go with Deep Wilderness, Aruga. So this is the forest theme, right? All right, now let's not pick that one because there's no file extension. None of these have file extensions. Let's pick one that does. Now I know earlier I was testing this out and I was getting file extension. Okay, so anyways, I think the file extension will get added. So I download this. All right. Now, here's a little trick. Ableton does not like MIDI file extensions. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over to my Ableton screen to show you kind of what I'm talking about. So when I discovered this, it really blew my mind. I started very early with Mega Man tracks because there's lots of great Mega Man music, right? So if I take this file and I try to dump it into Ableton, I get, it's not going to happen. They're not going to put it in there, right? But Ableton will take a file with an extension MID. Okay, so I take off that I, and check this out. I can just drag and drop this into Ableton. Alright, and then I have 5 tracks here. Now sometimes they're labeled intuitively, like they'll have the instrument name, and sometimes they're not. Alright, so if I play all this, let me scooch it over to actually, it's not all just drum tracks. If I play this, I pretty much have it ready to go. Okay, then I can edit things here. And what I'll do is compare it with this other website, Zofar's Domain. Some of you guys might remember this, okay? So this was the cave, right? So I'll stop my Ableton playback. I'll compare it with the actual version. Let me make sure this is not blasting when I play it. Be like, what's happening, dude? We jamming, dude. So I'll come here and I'll tap to find the tempo, okay, and then it loads in here, okay, and then I can simply get it to be at the right tempo. Now, for our sake, we're going to be playing things under tempo for sure. All right, so that's the cave, right? I've actually edited it quite a bit, going through here and kind of listening to it and orchestrating it, duplicating some of the tracks. So here's my cave version. Actually, I have it a little bit slower at 91. That's fine. Alright, so that's how I get it in Ableton. Now, once I'm in Ableton, I use a program called Finale to write the music out, and that's what I've done for the purpose of this. So the only track that I have not completed in my lineup here is the Tower of Garbo. So if you check the website, if you do !Rygar in the chat, you'll go to this great website that I just got up and running called Nuggetron.com. This is my personal website for all things video game music related. Okay, I'm going to be adding quite a lot to this and not necessarily putting it all on SoundCloud and all of these places that track all my data. So I have complete control of this site. You can download the files here. You can download the audio that's here. Some of these are actually mastered and sound pretty good. Some of them are rough mixes. Alright, so if you're trying to follow along on some of the charts, this is where you get all of them. Feel free to let me know if you want a different instrument, or you run across some errors or something, have any questions. I would love to hear from anyone, so we can work together on making it better, because I'm only one bird, and one bird is not enough to make it really great. Alright, so anyhow, we dropped our tracks into Ableton. We arranged them. Now, I know that this track 3 actually is the melody that I want to export. So in Ableton, I'm just going to right click. I'm going to export MIDI clip. Alright, and I'm going to put this in an intuitive place here. Rygar Finale files. It's important to stay organized with all this because a lot of them are not named very well when you download them. It's just called track 3, right? So I need to put it in the right place. So Rygar Tower Finale files. Oh, I need to actually put it in Rygar MIDI. Rygar MIDIs by part. Rygar Tower MIDIs by part, and we save this track 3-melody. Save it. I know this is kind of slow going for now. We'll get into playing instruments here in a second, but just to demonstrate my process, okay? So I'm here in Finale. I'm going to open up that file that I just created. Shinra Corp, huh? I agree. Yeah, those strings sound a lot like Shinra Corp. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so go to where I just dumped that file. And I'm going to open this up. Now, Finale will automatically make these MIDI notes into actual notes. Alright, so I just hit OK when it comes to the import MIDI options. And there it is. There's my chart. Alright, so what I'm going to do is use a template that I've built. It's very, very simple template. It's just, it has the guitar and then a tab. Alright, so I created here, and let's say Rygar Tower of Garba Melody. And this is for the School of Argool. And the composer is Michiharu Hayusa. Where'd he go? Is this the wrong? Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna search music. Here we go. Michiharu Hasuya. Give him some credit since I'm having fun off of all this music here. Alright, and I am the arranger. And I'll just keep everything in C major because most of this stuff actually turns into modal melodies, and I'm not going to sit here and try to define what key things are in because I just want to play the darn thing. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this other window. I'm going to select everything, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it in here. Alright, then I have all these extra measures. I delete them so it looks clean. Delete measure stack. Alright, so it looks like it starts from open E, or excuse me, low G. So that looks fine, okay? I'm going to create a multi-measure rest here. And then I'm going to copy this and put it into the tab. And that's it. Alright, then we can test it out. And make sure, what we're playing is going to make sense here. Alright, so we're going to go over here to this camera so you can see my hands. And turn on this guitar mic here. Oops, sorry about that. One, two, here we go. Missed that. Alright, so now we get into it, okay? Now we're gonna really try to figure out how to play music correctly, right? I could sit here with the backtrack all day and hammer out the notes, but that's not going to make me a better musician. What will make me a better musician is sit here and figure out the parts that are difficult. So I'm going to try this thing in measure 12. Okay, I know I don't have this chart up here yet. Oh, thanks, Pico. Yeah, it does sound kind of nice. Yeah, it's a little classical guitar. I think a lot of it is this microphone here. It is a Neumann microphone, and Neumanns sound really good. So, you know, when we learn this stuff, we want to do it slowly and, you know, really internalize the music without the backing track just blasting away at us, right? Yeah, so the triplet section was what I was struggling with. Alright. So that's it. It's not a TLM 103, it's a KM 184. Little pencil mic. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to throw this up on the site. We'll look at it in a little bit, but I actually want to start with a different chart today. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, KM 184 is what I'm working with here. Okay, so I actually want to start with the mountain theme, and that does have all the charts available on Nugatron.com. Alright, before I do that, we're going to just listen to the track. I think it's this second one here, right? Yeah. Alright, so this is my version of the track. You can, of course, you know, go to Zophar's domain, or KH Insider is another website. You can listen to the original version. I will be putting up all versions of this track as well as a slower tempo practice track for anyone that wants to learn it real slow. I love that people want to like learn music at any stage in life, so I'm all about encouraging that. Alright, before we get too into it, I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on the site. So I'm going to save this. Rygar finale files. Tower finale files. Rygar tower, melody, guitar. Alright, the PDF. Alright, Tower of Garba, melody, guitar, tab. And we're going to add a new thing here. Save it. And got that one here. All right. The Garba Melody, Tower of Garba Melody, is now live on Nugatron.com/Rygar. Let's talk about this Mountain Path melody here. Mountain Path lead. Okay, so I'm going to look at the version that says no open E. I'm a big fan of not playing open strings as much as I can, especially during long sustained notes. Okay, we do that for a couple reasons. One is you can bend the note. Alright, so like we get, let's see, show you guys what's going on here. So we get to this section here in measure 17. You know, we got a long sustained E, right? I could just play an open E, but I'd rather do a 5th fret on the B string, because you can bend it, and also if you were to ever have to transpose this, like if you wanted to play it in a different key, you can learn it easier that way by not playing open strings. Alright, so let me show you guys what's going on here. Alright, so we're going to work on the tower, or the mountain path lead. So this kind of set up like a C chord. You got 3, open 1. So you have an F here. Alright, so it's going to kind of switch from like a C chord to like an F thing. Now most of this stuff is in fact modal with chromaticism, meaning it's not stuck in a particular key, and that's why we see A flats, F sharps together in this chart here. Alright, so from the beginning slowly we got and of course you can do a closed D there. So you can bend it. Same thing. Alright, and then now we transition to some chromaticism. A, D flat, E. Then the 2nd fret. Back to the D flat. And it repeats. Okay, 1st fret. A natural. Alright, here's the fun part. Oops. Alright, so we're going to actually shift here. We're on the 5th fret, then the 2nd fret. So we go E, E, 2, 3, 2 and 3, A flat, F sharp, A flat, excuse me, E natural, D, measure 22, keep missing the wrong string. So you got octaves here. E on the D string, E on the B string. 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Got it that time. Alright, now here's the crazy part. You do not have to play this, but it is a huge run of 16th notes. I just follow the pattern in the tab, really. I don't think about it too much. Oops. Alright, so I personally, you know, left that on there to allow the shredders something to chew on, you know, because there might be some shredders that actually end up playing this thing. I am not one of them. But let's try it with the track, and we'll slow it down. I have Ableton automated. Yeah, now full speed 16th notes. Yeah. Yeah, not today. And during this month, I will put up this slow tempo on Nuggetron.com for practice sake. A flat, A natural, and shift. Oh, missed the string. But I'm keeping going. One mistake should not make me stop. That goes in life too. Ooh, it's philosophy. E natural. I screwed up that part. I was memorizing it. Alright, here we go. Okay. Woo! Alright, you get the idea? Alright, let's transition to the bass part. Alright, this instrument comes much easier for me. And please, if anyone is following along, they want me to slow down, redo something, I'd be more than happy to do that. Or, you know, if you're watching the VOD, watching the YouTube of this, then hit me up. Let me help you out. Alright, so let's pull up the bass part. Alright, let's see. Mountain Path bass line simple. Alright, so this one's really easy, cheesy little part here. You don't have to do anything crazy with this. I'll kind of show you what we're looking at. So I left it really open for interpretation here, where you can kind of like add your own thing. Alright, so if we play it in just normal, it's just half note, half note. that's it, really. That's all it really is. All right, so let me switch the camera over here so you can kind of pick up on some different things that you can add. All right, so when you play bass, sometimes you get bored. I know I do. Okay, so you don't always have to play just unless that's where you're at, right? So you can add what we call a ghost note, which is you just pluck the string, and if I show you my left hand, I'm not pressing down, right? So I can just like keep my finger there and then press down after I do the ghost note, normal note. And you can even hear a harmonic here, which is fine. Okay, if you didn't want the harmonic, you just got to move it to a spot on the fret where it's not going to do a harmonic. So there's still one there. So this is a little bit better down here, right? I have multiple fingers down. Okay, you can also do this palm muting, right? Palm muting is great. You can make like a karate chop with your hand here, and you're going to put it right here on the bridge, all right? Just basically right in line with that. Now, let me tilt this down just a touch more. All right, so palm muting is really fun to get this kind of like reggae sound. Like you can kind of suppress the vibration of the strings, and you can actually use your thumb to pluck. All right, so that's kind of your palm muting. My hand is touching the edge of the string. So I have a ghost note here. It's a fun little effect to add, right? So it's just making bass playing more interesting. So if I did it without the palm mute, with the palm mute, so just adding that nice little thing here. Some bass players will even go so far as to put a wristband or like a hair tie up here. You see that a lot nowadays. Victor Wooten started doing that like in the early 2000s, late 90s. Now you see a lot of bass players, they have this like wrap up here that kind of helps that happen. So anyways, you add some kind of nuance to this, right? So we'll try it again, but we're gonna, show you the right hand and kind of show you some kind of fun things to do with this. Get those 16th notes, man. I'm glad to hear that people are wanting to learn them 16th notes. Cool. So I don't know, you guys probably noticed this because you hear gaming music quite a lot. But gaming music is really fun for me because I love how it repeats. Like if we look at this part here, the way that gaming music like loops itself is what makes me really attracted to it. Because we all know those like 8-bar loopers on Twitch, they're great what they do, but like, it gets kind of boring after like 5 minutes of them looping the same 8 bars. But You know, they play the pop songs, they're all catchy and everything. So if we, you know, if we look at how many measures Mountain Path is, where is it? Yeah. You know, this is 37 measures long, right? But the bass line, where'd it go? Bass line is 27, 30, 31, 32 measures long. So there's like 5 measures that get added, and it loops itself. It's so cool. You know, I just love that. I just thought I'd point that out about gaming music and how it really inspires me as a musician to really think outside the box. All right, cool. So let's move on. If no one has any questions, curiosities about Mountain Path, we're going to move on to the forest theme. The forest of arugula, full of arugula salads. All right, so we'll play this track. And we'll start with the guitar again. This line on guitar is not too complicated. Alright, so we can close this one down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right about that, yeah. Now, I would actually play this. Let's see, where is it? So, I'm going to make some more edits to this one, but, you know, the beginning of this, you know, I originally wrote where I would shift back here. Let me show you in the camera. Yeah, so many different ways, yeah. I mean, find the best way that works for you and memorize it, and then one day change it, because that'll make you a really good musician. Being flexible, right? So when I first was playing this, I was doing like the Johnny, you know, one finger slide thing. But in fact, you can actually play it here. So my second finger's on the 5th fret. Actually, it'd be here. So I have my first finger barred. And I would just play it here, actually. That would be ideal. So if I go to the chart, and actually I'm going to follow along with my own nonsense here and make these edits. 5, 5, 6. And then we can have E flat. Okay, so I was right at the beginning. I want my second finger barred across the 5th fret, and then throw in my 3rd finger here, and then I have my E flat. Whoops. Alright, and then the fun part, I'm going to go up to the 10th fret with my 3rd finger. Alright, and this next part, I go 3, 4, next string up, 1, 3, 4. Alright, so that's kind of something I was practicing a little bit earlier before we got started with the official class here. So, 10th fret, B string, 3rd finger, 3, 4, E string now, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. Now B string, 4, 3. Then I shift back. Alright, and then the rest of it, E flat. Now the music does some weird thing here. I just made it simple, just. Alright, so it's like, excuse me, 4, 3, 2. Alright, so if we listen to the actual deal, three, 4, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 3, shift back. Now here is where it's a little different. Right here. Ba-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Alright, I just made it. Alright, you don't have to do the da-da-da-da-da, because you're not a computer. Alright, I think if you were to actually make it ba-da-da-da-da, you would have to do a B flat. So here's my B flat here on the G. Something like that. Oh, so it'll have to be... Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out like 3 notes, right? Because most people aren't going to really pay that much attention. So I just do. Alright, so we go E flat. Excuse me. E flat. And then E flat again. Alright, we are on 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to measure 13. Keep forgetting my E flat. Remember, an accidental, that E flat is going to last throughout the whole measure unless otherwise notated. Alright, then we go essentially a key change. Alright, here's measure 20. Excuse me. A, B flat, C. Alright, here's the other hard part. Measure 26. So we have 8th fret with our pinky finger on, what is it? The G string, yeah. And I would just memorize this. We have 4, 1, 4, 4, 2. So my pinky really gets barred across because I'm going to play 3 notes under my pinky. And I throw down my middle finger here at the end. Okay, there's no ring finger in this. Ooh. I shift back for the 4th fret. Again. Rest of it's kind of easy. Alright, let's try it with the track. We'll play it a little slower. Here we go, 3rd finger, 10th fret. Shift back. E flat again. Rush that just a little bit. Here we go. Whoops, messed that up. Okay. So that needs practice, right? I screwed that up pretty good. And I launched to a different track just now. So we go. This is measures 15, 16, 17, and measure 18. Yeah, I tell you, video game music really has some interesting lines in it. I feel like a lot of that might have to do with Japanese music culture. Because they don't like have the same traditional scales that we do, right? And the fact that it was written for computers, right? So if we're practicing this line at 18, I gotta remember to hit my A. So one of the things that I like to do is play things backwards as well as forwards. So I'm having trouble with this A, so I'm going to play it forwards. I go this measure 20. I got A, B flat, C, D, C, B flat, F sharp, G. All right, now I go backwards. G, F sharp, B, C, D, C, B flat, A. Forwards, A, B, C, D. Backwards, G, F sharp, B, C, D, C, B flat, A. And I was improvising there a little bit as I was reading chat. Yeah, wild stuff, wild stuff. Okay. So let's plug the track back in. You know, if I was here on my own, I would probably spend a little bit more time on that. But for the sake of time, let's keep it moving. It's the beauty of technology. We can slow things down. We can pause them. Here we go. Almost got it. Got a second trance. Here we go. Oops. Almost. Cool. All right, let's learn the bass part. Boom, boom, ba-dum. Alright, I got lots to say about this bass part here. So if we look at the chart, I have one that is Rygar bassline forest condensed, right? Because it's a lot of repetition. There's basically 4 licks in this. 4 different ways of playing. Well, actually just 4, lines, right? Let me zoom in a little bit here. Alright, so this first one is going to happen over and over and over again, okay? Actually happens 17 measures in a row before it changes harmonies, right? Second one is the same pattern down a string and up 2 frets. Down a string, up 2 frets. Alright. The third one is up 1 fret. Excuse me, no. Up 3 frets. Alright, and then the last one, so it goes back there, and then the last one actually has a slide in it. Alright, now, I remember when I was recording this one last year, I came to the realization that I should not be playing every note. So, what I actually do is ghost 3 notes after I play 2 of them. So I play 2 notes, and then I ghost 3 of them. Excuse me, ghost 2. So I play 2 notes, E flat, F, ghost 2 notes. Slow down, I go E, F. So that's everything there, but once I go faster, I don't really have time. I just end up kind of fumbling there, so I ghost. Alright, now that happens 17 times, right? So my left hand actually gets tired of playing that. So what I do, I got my E flat down with the 1. I have my F with the pinky here. Then I have my C with my ring finger. Okay, so I could smush it across, but it actually lies really comfortably here in 1 fret. So I have the C under my ring finger, the F underneath my pinky, and then I'm just able to just now as we go, you might actually see me do this, where I'm rolling my 3rd finger and I give my pinky a break. Alright, so that's the first line. And then I go to the D, G, C. That happens 8 times. And then I go to F, B flat, E flat. And And every time you have F to B flat, that only happens 2 times, so it happens for only 1 measure. Then I shift back for the next one. Then the fun part, I go so slowly. I have D, A, and then I play a slide here. Yeah, I feel like that might have been an error. Like 17 times versus 16, it seems kind of weird, right? Like, it's possible because the melody starts in the second measure, really. Like if we look at the melody, it actually starts with the rest. Now, it could be the MIDI file that I got from vgmusic.com, or could actually be what's happening in the actual OST. That's a really good question. For our purposes, you know, we're trying to play with the prearranged MIDI track. So I think it's 17 times because it's like it gives you 1 measure of just the bass, and then boom, the melody comes in on the second measure. Pickups to the second measure, to be exact. All right. So the slide is, yeah, and then made by design to loop. Yeah, exactly. That's what's so interesting to me. So I play D, A, D, and then I just slide. D, A, D, slide. Alright, so this is kind of hairy, but we'll try it with a track. Slow it down just a touch here. Oops. So that's it. Let's play it up to tempo just for fun. So you'll hear the ghosts a little bit better. That's it. That's the forest theme. That's some good times. Alright, cool. Let's move on to the Cave of Sigilla. And we'll play that one starting with the guitar. I can't remember the melody to this one off the top of my head. I don't know if I practiced it too much today. Cool beans. Do 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 do. All right. So cave. Pull up the chart here. Yeah, the melody for this one is pretty simple. Crunch. All right. And then this one has a counter melody, which is one of my favorites. Alright, counter melody meaning it's like, you know, it's pretty much in the same range as the melody. It's just not the thing that's prominent throughout the whole track. Alright, so let's zoom in a little bit here. And we will get started on this. There's not too much to do with this one. Let's give it another zoom here. Okay, except for this little line, measure 3, where we go, let me move this over just a touch. So we have a open G, that's basically it. And then it looks a lot scarier than it is. So that's pretty much the only challenging part. Let me show you guys with the left hand how that looks. So we just really, this is measure 4, excuse me, measure 4. Three open. This one would be great on electric guitar if I had one. Someday I would love to have an electric guitar. Okay, and then we go here, measure 10. And that's it. Alright, let's try it. Which track was it again? It was second on the bottom, that's right. counter melody in the background. We'll look at that here in a minute. Alright, so, you know, pretty straightforward. One thing I want to point out is we look at measure 8 compared to measure 4. Alright, so here we have, excuse me, so that goes to the open G, whereas the one here in measure 8 goes to the higher D. In preparation for this other thing. Alright, so that's really the only catch to that. Pretty simple. Alright, let's look at the counter melody of this. The counter melody gets a little spicy. So I combined 2 tracks here to get the counter melody. That was just kind of my musician intuition. It took 2 of the MIDI tracks and they weren't overlapping each other. Like I had one voice and then the other voice and there was no overlap. So I combined this into one part. And you can see there's 16 measures of rest to begin with. Alright, let's zoom in on this. So this one's really fun. We got, if I can get my F natural down. And then the crazy part starts. Alright, and then it jumps up. I have not edited this one completely. Let's actually make this change here. You know what? Let's do this. We're just gonna take this note, paste it here. Hello. Take that note, paste it there. Yeah. Alright, same deal. Yeah. Okay, so this one is not comfortable for me to play. So let me actually pull up the version that I play on cello. I think I have a bass clef version of this. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, so I play this on cello because it's a bit easier for me because I don't shred so much on guitar. And we will rock a little bit of cello on this one here. I'm going to lower my screen down. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cue this up. And we're going to play along with this thing here. I got 16 measures of rest. Measure 6, measure 7. Here we go. You get the idea, right? So that's pretty tough. You got. Alright, and then it jumps to octaves. I'll eventually play that on cello here. But yeah. Yeah, so that one's really fun. I'll be working on that one in the next few weeks. Might even take it down an octave. Yeah, that sounds kind of gross down an octave. But we get the picture here. Let's move on to the bass line, which is super fun. Doom 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 doom. I think I like this bass line even more than the Forest bass line. It's not as difficult, that's for sure. All right. Let's pull up the chart. So this one you can actually slap comfortably, at least. Where am I? Window, Rygar Cave, baseline is what I want. Rygar Cave baseline. Oh, okay. I made a simplified version of this, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, baseline simple. All right. So it's basically just 4 measures. That's all this thing does. Alright, so here on the 4th measure, a lot of times I just go instead of all 3 of the notes. Alright, so if we play it with the track, I can actually play it down an octave on a 5 string, which is super hip. And let me show you how I would slap this. Alright, so for slapping, of course, here's my little mini lesson on slapping. You have a knuckle on your thumb right there. Alright, now that knuckle is going to act like a drumstick, essentially. And if you see a drummer play in slow motion, you see their drumstick hit the surface and it slightly bounces off, okay? So this takes a lot of practice. You're gonna essentially bring the wrist up and open the wrist like you're turning a doorknob. Alright, that's just kind of the motion here. Okay, so if I didn't have my thumb out, it's essentially this motion here, like turning a doorknob. Alright, show it in the camera. Alright, but then my thumb is out, and I'm trying to strike that string. Alright, now notice I line it up here, I hit, but then my thumb rests off of it on the next string. Alright, and then a pop is burying your finger underneath the string and just pulling up, okay? Just pulling straight up. Okay, by up I mean like outwards from your body. Alright, so if I'm going to slap this, I go, I'm not really playing all four notes. It's too much. Alright, that's basically how I'm slapping this. What's up, Balting? Good to see you. Alright, and this one's really fun to slap. Yeah. Slapping's so fun. Alright, now, one thing you could do is you have that thing here, like you have the G and D. Alright, no open strings. You could, in fact, scrape your thumb across two strings, okay? So I'm getting more of like a backstroke here, like I'm trying to follow through. So I'm it takes some practice as well, and it definitely will take some callousing. So instead of just one string, I'm trying to hit both. Alright, now my left hand is actually draped across these other strings, so I'm not hitting them. Because if I were to, here I just hit my open A. It sounds like doo-doo. So I keep my middle finger here to keep from my other strings from ringing out, because I actually end up hitting the A string just a little bit. Alright, so slowly we got, you play it in this octave is fine. Alright, and I have some ghost notes in there, so I've two ghost notes. Alright, and notice like my thumb is right at the edge of the fingerboard here. Alright, that's really the best place to slap, in my opinion, at least on this particular bass. This is a jazz bass, a Fender jazz bass, Marcus Miller jazz bass to be exact. So it is built for slapping in this area here. If I were to try to slap like back here, I would not really get the same sound. And there's a lot more tension, okay? So this is why we slap up here, because there's not so much tension at all. Okay, I don't really want to go that high because I end up like smashing into the fretboard just a little bit. and I don't have any room to pop necessarily. You actually see some bass players, they'll put like a little block right here too to even make it more comfortable for slapping. Love talking about slap. Let's play it with the track, and we'll kind of play both versions, fingerstyle. Oops, wrong one. Fingerstyle and slap. Oops. Echo. Okay, that's weird. It tripped me out for a second. Yeah, so I remember, gotta turn off my vocal mic for just a sec. Thank you. I get lots of compliments on this slap. I should keep playing it, you know? Yeah. You gotta keep practicing. I'm gonna try to do more daily stuff, you know? So that is the cave bass line. All right, let's look at the Cave Grandpa theme. Let's see. Cave Grandpa theme is really fun. And we can look at the melody on bass. It's actually really quite fun on bass as well. Alright, it sounds like this. Let's slow it down. Alright, so let's figure this thing out here. This one's really fun. I enjoy this one a bunch. Alright, so we're looking at measure 5, I think it is. Yeah. This one here. Alright, so we approach it in a smart way, right? We're down here, 2nd fret. This is measure 4. Alright, so I'm going to shift up and then let me actually start editing some of this too. Bring that down a string. And bring this down a string as well. And this down a string. Yeah, so this will make much more sense in position here. 5, 7, 9, yeah. Alright, so we got A, B flat, oh, you know what? Let's bring this C down to the next string as well, and that'll make it a lot easier for us. Alright, so let's try it. Yeah, that's it. So and then A flat F. Yep, that's it. Yeah. And you know what? This is actually wrong. This needs to be a D sharp as well. Alright, little TR means to trill. You can hear that in the line. And in case people are wondering what a trill is a fluctuation between two notes in scale. Okay, it's important to know that it is in the scale. We see it's a D sharp there, so that means it's in the scale, and then it's going to go up to the E. Okay. So here it goes. Trill. It's known as an ornament. I missed that. Alright, so, you know, we work on measure 6. So, if we come from here, we could could, in fact, play this a little bit smarter in this position, I think. Yeah, so that would be a little bit smarter. So we have A, B, C, E flat. Yeah, that would be smarter. So we'll bring this down as well. Bring all these down to the next string. It'll make much more sense in how we actually finger this here. Yeah. And we'll take this one too. Did I just change that? No, I didn't. It's fine. Alright, so we take this down. Yep. Bring this down as well. Cool. Delete this random measure that Finale put in here. Alright, so that is the Guru theme. There is a guitar part available for this. I'm not going to sit here and play that because it's the same line and it does have different, of course, tablature and everything. So we're going to save this and we're going to move on to our second to last chart here, and that is the path. Okay, in the website it's actually called the Sunset theme, but it is in fact path and not sunset, so I'll have to change that as well. Alright, so this one is tricky. It's actually in 5/4, meaning 5 beats per measure, and it has like a triplet thing going on with it. I think I have this window open actually. Cave counter, sunset, overhead path melody, yeah. Alright, so let's grab the guitar. We're not going to spend too much time on this one. But it is fun. We have all these triplets and things in here. Ooh, jeez. Alright, so we're going to take it nice and slow. Boom, ba-dum. Alright, this just starts out with some open A's and open D's. And then 3, 3, 3. Left hand looks like this. Let me scooch this over just a touch. pretty simple to start out with. We just have the third finger barred across A string, A string, D string, and G. And then we go second finger for the A natural. Alright, and then this kind of fun part, simple as well. Just all ones and threes here. And that's it, really. Okay, and then we get into a key change. We go A flat. So it's a little tricky, 1 and 4, 1, 3. And that's really it. So let's try it nice and slow. It's a little too slow. Here we go, A flat, E flat. And open E. Alright, let's try it full tempo. And that is it. Alright, now I believe I did have the accompaniment to this as well, but we are not going to cover that tonight. I wanted to really just touch on every track. We got one more track to do, and that is the Tower of Garba. I'm going to try and see if I can find a way of doing the ending to this game. I really like the ending song. Let's see. Get this going here. Alright, so the Tower of Garba sounds like this. Oh no, this isn't it, is it? Yeah, it is. This one has a really fun accompaniment. In case anyone is interested in that, that is really fun to learn. But we're going to play the melody. So that's what we're focused on here. So we have 8 measures of rest. Here we go. Yeah, and that's it. Let's look at the accompaniment just for a minute. I really enjoy that. I cannot really play it on guitar very well, but we'll give it a shot. So it is just 4 measures. Alright, we'll play without the track for a second. That's pretty cool. So we have 1, open, 3. Alright, and then you have open, 4, 3. And then 3, 2, 4, 2. And that is this little accompaniment here. It is simplified a little bit because I took out some of the harmonies, but it is pretty fun. And then yeah. What's up, Ziffer1? Caleb, huh? Caleb like Caleb that I know, Caleb in real life? Oh, what's up? Yeah. Welcome in, buddy. You're doing a lesson on how to play some of this music from Rygar for NES. So I can't really play it up to tempo, but it is pretty cool. You know, so you could play it like chords if you wanted to. Or you could play a, you know, your own version of it nice and slowed down. Alright. Cool. And that is all the charts I have for Rygar. Like I said, I'd like to figure out the ending to this, but there was no MIDI readily available, so it would take a lot of extra effort in order for me to find the notes for that. I could sit there and learn it by ear, but that's not really my style. I like to make the backing tracks and all that business. Why do I keep hearing a thump? Oh, I guess this is my desk hitting this microphone. Okay, anyways, this concludes the School of Argool. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching. If anyone has any questions or has any other charts they want me to look at for any type of video game music, please hit me up on the Twitch. And I'm going to stop the local recording for our YouTube video that we're putting up here. So thanks again to Pico for inviting me to do this.